The festive season, a time for joy, togetherness, and of course, the much-anticipated gift exchange. I vividly recall one Christmas that turned out to be far from merry, a tale of misplaced expectations and an unexpected plot twist. My then-girlfriend, Sarah, had recently expressed a budding interest in oil painting, her desire to capture the vibrancy of life on canvas. With Christmas approaching, I decided to surprise her with an artist's dream starter kit. An easel, a full set of oil paints, fine art brushes, the works. I had splurged on the best quality supplies, eager to nurture her newfound passion. Christmas morning arrived, and the anticipation was palpable. Sarah unwrapped the gift with trembling hands, her eyes widening as she took in the array of artistic treasures. But instead of the delight I had anticipated, her expression morphed into one of disbelief, followed by a torrent of tears. In a whirlwind of emotions, Sarah bolted out of the apartment, jumped into her car, and sped off, narrowly avoiding a collision with our neighbor's brick wall. I was left standing there, dumbfounded, the remnants of wrapping paper scattered around me like confetti in the aftermath of a forgotten celebration. Hours later, after a frantic search, I finally managed to reach Sarah. Her voice was shaky, barely above a whisper, as she revealed the truth behind her sudden outburst. Turns out, the oil painting course she had mentioned was nothing more than a smokescreen, a fabricated excuse to cover up her affair with a married man. Every Wednesday, while I sat at home anticipating her return, she was sneaking off to a nearby hotel for clandestine rendezvous. My heart sank as the bitter realization dawned on me. The carefully chosen Christmas gift, intended to nurture her creativity, had inadvertently unearthed a betrayal that shattered my world. That Christmas, instead of the heartwarming glow of shared joy, I was left with a gaping void, the echoes of Sarah's sobs still reverberating through the empty apartment. It was a Christmas I would never forget, a poignant reminder of the fragility of trust and the unexpected twists that life can throw our way. The frigid December air bit at my exposed skin as I trudged up the familiar steps to my childhood home, a battered copy of Casablanca clutched tightly in my hand. It was Christmas Eve, a time for family, for joy, for celebration. But beneath the veneer of festive cheer, my heart was heavy with a secret I'd been desperately trying to shield my girlfriend from, the secret of my mother's addiction. Just last year, on this very night, she had stumbled down the stairs, half naked and intoxicated, breaking 3 ribs in the fall. My girlfriend had been there, witnessing the ugly truth I'd kept hidden for so long. The year before that had been no better, with my mother overdosing on Xanax and landing us in the ER. Despite the pain and disappointment, I had clung to a glimmer of hope, a belief that my mother could overcome her demons. And this year, on Christmas Eve, I had a small victory to celebrate. 5 months of sobriety, her longest stretch without a relapse. I had brought along her favorite movie, Casablanca, dreaming of a night filled with laughter and shared memories. But as I stepped through the front door, my hopes were shattered. There, sprawled across the living room floor, lay my mother, half naked and unconscious, surrounded by a sea of empty vodka bottles. The stench of alcohol hung heavy in the air, a sickening reminder of her descent into darkness. Anger surged through me, a primal instinct to lash out. To end this cycle of despair, I briefly contemplated the act, the suffocating weight of a pillow snuffing out her life and mine, releasing us from this unending torment. But the thought of my brother, his words of support echoing in my mind, held me back. I retreated to the basement, seeking solace in his distant presence. His voice, a lifeline in the storm, reminded me of the strength I still possessed, the strength to endure, to hope, to fight for a future free from the shackles of addiction. As the night wore on, I watched over my mother, a silent guardian angel. The empty bottles stood as stark reminders of her struggle, but I refused to let them define her. I held on to the glimmers of her former self, the woman who had once filled our home with laughter and love. Christmas Eve, a night of joy and celebration, had turned into a stark reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface. But amidst the despair, a flicker of hope remained, a belief that even in the darkest of times, there is always a path towards redemption. As the festive season approached, the familiar pressure from my siblings mounted, urging me to visit my estranged father for Christmas. Despite our strained relationship, I reluctantly agreed, bracing myself for an inevitable encounter with my eccentric aunt and elderly grandmother. Upon arrival, the tension in the air was palpable, a stark contrast to the cheerful holiday decor adorning the living room. After exchanging awkward pleasantries, we gathered around the Christmas tree, the anticipation of gift-giving momentarily easing the discomfort. The first round of gift opening proceeded without incident, but as we delved into the second round, an alarming odor began to permeate the air. Following the trail of scent, my father's eyes widened in horror as he discovered a rather unpleasant surprise on the couch, a sizable pile of his mother-in-law's feces. The collective silence shattered as gasps and murmurs filled the room. My grandmother, oblivious to the commotion, returned from her mysterious absence, draped in a blanket that failed to conceal her embarrassing predicament. In a desperate attempt to salvage the situation, my father's wife rushed to cover the soiled couch with plastic and towels. Meanwhile, my unsuspecting younger sister, blissfully unaware of the olfactory assault, found herself seated next to the source of the pungent aroma. Despite the overwhelming stench, we were expected to continue the charade of Christmas cheer, pretending that nothing out of the ordinary had occurred. As we forced smiles and exchanged gifts, the pungent reminder of my grandmother's mishap lingered in the air. To add insult to injury, the following day my tooth decided to join the festive chaos by spontaneously exploding. Completely unaware of the abscess brewing within, I was caught off guard by the sudden release of pressure, leaving me with a gaping hole in my molar. Thus, my Christmas visit to my father's house became an unforgettable tale of familial dysfunction, olfactory assault, and dental mishaps, a holiday memory I'll undoubtedly cherish for years to come. As the festive season approached, my then husband and I eagerly embarked on our first Christmas together as a married couple. To capture the quintessential holiday spirit, we decided to purchase a real Christmas tree, envisioning a home adorned with twinkling lights and fragrant pine needles. Little did we know that our idyllic vision would soon transform into a Christmas calamity. After carefully transporting the tree to our cozy apartment, we proudly placed it in the living room, admiring its towering height and lush greenery. However, our excitement was short-lived when we noticed an unsettling movement amidst the branches. Upon closer inspection, we discovered that our seemingly majestic tree was harboring a colony of tiny black worms wriggling their way along the needles. Initially, we dismissed the presence of these uninvited guests as a minor inconvenience, but as the hours passed, the infestation intensified, with a relentless stream of worms raining down upon our living room floor. The once festive tree had become a breeding ground for creepy crawlies, casting a pall over our Christmas spirit. Unable to bear the sight of the incessant worm exodus, we made the agonizing decision to discard our infested Christmas tree. The disposal process was as unpleasant as the infestation itself, with each branch shedding its unwelcome inhabitants onto the ground. Despite the disappointing turn of events, we managed to salvage our Christmas celebration by improvising with a smaller artificial tree. The ordeal provided a rather unique and unforgettable holiday memory, a testament to the resilience of the festive spirit in the face of unexpected challenges.